Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePaul here with the Rose Realty team with this week's Real Estate Vlog for North Texas. Today, a little bit of change of pace. Today, we're going to talk about National Heroes Day. It's something rather new in the United States. Kind of started up a little bit just at the beginning of COVID. We'll get to that in a minute. But National Heroes Day is celebrated each year on October 8th. In the United States. It began around 2020. Okay, like I said, it began around COVID, partly because of the what we realized as a nation. We realized there were a certain group of people that when the rest of us were like sheltering in place and staying home, and not going into work or working from home, that kind of stuff, they couldn't do that. Okay, it's hard to be a policeman or a cop, when you're working from home. Okay, it's hard to prevent that bank robbery, when you're working from home. What are you gonna do? Phone it in? Yeah, I'm not sure that's quite gonna work. I really became aware of it a lot when my sister, who's a healthcare worker, had to go in every day. Now she goes in every day to this hospital in downtown Dallas, and there's obviously what's at a hospital, a lot of sick people to begin with, right? But now here's COVID, and everybody's masking up and gloves and all of that, and they're all forced to get inoculations and COVID vaccines and all of that kind of stuff, and whether they wanted to or not. Okay, but anyway, became very aware of that around that time, and I'm kind of glad there's this National Heroes Day to recognize people like healthcare workers and police, etc. We'll get to that in a second, for the work that they do, for us in this country. Before we go any further, hey, a favor for us. Please go to our YouTube channel. You're kind of already there, Moving to Dallas, and like and subscribe if you could. That kind of helps us, kind of bumps us up to the top of the list, gets YouTube to kind of recognize us, and they'll play our videos more and more often, and then everybody will be happy. So we really appreciate that. Anyway, the history. So interestingly, a National Heroes Day is observed in almost every country throughout the world in one form or another. Okay, like I said, National Heroes Day started in the U.S. in 2020. It's October 8th, but so-called heroes are celebrated throughout the world in most sort of civilized nations. In the U.S., we recognize rather police and military, healthcare workers, education, people in education, essential workers, and social security, social work type of people. But anyway, the clue, the kind of hint behind this is do something heroic. Okay, and National Heroes Day, do something heroic. So offer to volunteer, donate blood, organize nonprofit drives. Winter's kind of coming up, so coat drives and blanket drives and quilt drives and that kind of stuff. Find other ways to contribute in your community. You can probably call your town hall or your chamber of commerce, and they can give you hints and clues. The Rose Realty team has a plan. We're going to participate on Heroes Day, October 8th, and we have a plan of what we're going to do. And so it's kind of cool that we already kind of thought that out, and we're going to execute on that plan. So think about it, and see how you can contribute and tell these heroes, hey, thanks. We really appreciate what you do, and that that you're around doing it, for our community. Next week, we're going to talk about 55 plus communities in North Texas. Now, we're not going to specifically talk about this community or that community, or we're going to touch on some of those, but we're going to talk about, we're going to focus really on the different types of communities, that are out there for our 55 plus in age citizens. This is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. Bye-bye.